Most people do not like to admit that power matters. We prefer to believe that good intentions, talent, honesty, or hard work should be enough. Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power begins from a colder observation. Wherever people want status, security, attention, money, love, or control, power is already in the room. This book is controversial because it describes power without much moral decoration. It uses history, politics, war, court life, business, and betrayal to show how people gain influence, lose it, protect it, and use it against one another. The point of a 10-minute summary is not to memorize all 48 laws. The point is to understand the deeper pattern behind them. Greene's central message is that power is often less about force and more about perception. People respond to images, stories, symbols, confidence, timing, scarcity, mystery, and reputation. If you ignore these forces, you may still be affected by them. If you understand them, you can move with more caution. The first major lesson is, never make power above you feel insecure. Law 1, never outshine the master, is not about hiding your talent forever. It is about understanding hierarchy. When a person above you feels embarrassed, threatened, or made to look small, they may punish you even if you did good work. In many environments, being useful is safer than being dazzling. Make others feel respected, and your own influence grows with less resistance. The second lesson is about reputation. Greene treats reputation like a fortress. Before people know your full character, they respond to the story attached to your name. A reputation for reliability, calmness, intelligence, or strength can open doors before you speak. A damaged reputation can close them even when you are right. This does not mean living for appearances alone. It means recognizing that perception travels faster than truth. Guard what people repeatedly associate with you. If you are careless with your image, others may define it for you. A helpful way to organize the book is to think of the laws in 5 groups. The first group is about hierarchy. In almost every organization, someone controls access, approval, or resources. Greene's advice is to understand who actually holds power, not only who has the impressive title. Power often hides behind informal influence. The trusted assistant, the loyal advisor, the person everyone asks before making a decision. If you misread the hierarchy, you may spend energy impressing the wrong person. The second group is about visibility. Some moments require attention, other moments require concealment. Greene's world rewards the person who can choose between the two. If you are too invisible, no one remembers your value. If you are too exposed, competitors can study you. The skill is not always being loud or always being secretive. The skill is deciding what the situation demands. The third group is about emotional distance. Power games often work because people react too quickly. They accept flattery because it feels good. They reveal fear because pressure rises. They make promises because they want approval. They attack because pride has been touched. Greene keeps returning to the same warning. The person who controls their emotions usually controls more of the situation. The third lesson is that saying less can create more power. Many people weaken themselves by explaining too much. They reveal anxiety. They give away intentions. They talk until the mystery is gone. Greene argues that restraint creates weight. A person who does not rush to fill every silence often appears more confident and more difficult to read. This is useful beyond politics. In negotiation, do not volunteer every weakness. In conflict, do not let anger write your script. In leadership, do not confuse constant talking with authority. Carefully chosen words are often stronger than many words. Another pattern running through the book is strategic indirectness. Greene repeatedly warns against moving too openly. If everyone can see what you want, they can block you, copy you, or use your desire against you. Concealing intentions does not always mean lying. Often it means waiting, observing, and not announcing every plan before it is ready. The book also teaches the power of attention. One law says to court attention at all cost. That can sound shallow, but the underlying point is practical. Invisibility is dangerous if you need influence. People follow what they notice. They remember what is vivid. They talk about what stands out. Attention, however, must be handled carefully. If you attract attention without competence, you become a spectacle. If you attract attention while controlling the story, you become memorable. A related lesson is to get others to do the work for you, but take the credit carefully. In its harshest form, This sounds exploitative. A wiser reading is that power often belongs to the person who organizes resources, frames the result, and understands leverage. You do not have to do everything with your own hands. You do need to know who creates value, who receives recognition, and how credit moves. Greene's world is full of alliances, rivals, and hidden motives. That is why he warns against naive trust. Friends may disappoint you because friendship creates emotion, envy, and entitlement. Former rivals may sometimes be useful because they have something to prove. The deeper lesson is not to become paranoid. It is to judge people by incentives and behavior, not only by warm feelings. The fourth group is about symbols. Crowns, titles, ceremonies, clothing, offices, numbers, rituals, and stories all shape how people interpret authority. This can sound old-fashioned, but it is everywhere. A polished presentation feels more credible. A confident introduction changes the room. A brand, a title, or a repeated story can make people assume value before they examine evidence. This is why Greene pays so much attention to theatricality. People do not only respond to what is true. They respond to what feels meaningful, rare, important, and well-framed. If you want to communicate power ethically, do not fake substance. Present real substance in a way that people can actually recognize. The fifth group is about long games. Many people lose power because they chase immediate satisfaction. They want to prove they are right, win the argument, expose the rival, or take credit instantly. Greene's historical examples show that patient people often gain more because they let others reveal themselves, wait for better timing, and avoid unnecessary battles. This does not mean becoming cold or calculating in every human interaction. It means refusing to let impulse make your decisions for you. The book's most useful ideas are often about self-control. Do not react from anger. Do not appear desperate. Do not argue when silence would serve you better. Do not let pride force you into a fight that gives the other person control. In Greene's view, emotional impulsiveness is one of the easiest ways to lose power. This connects to timing. Power is not only what you do, it is when you do it. A good move at the wrong moment can fail. A quiet delay can be stronger than immediate action. Strategic people watch the room, read the season, and wait until their effort has the greatest effect. Another key theme is dependence. Greene says to make other people depend on you. The ethical version of this lesson is to become genuinely valuable. If you solve important problems, hold rare knowledge, create trust, or connect people to outcomes they need, you are harder to replace. Power often grows from being useful in a way that cannot be easily copied. The book also warns about victory. Winning too completely can create enemies. Public humiliation can produce revenge. If your success makes others feel cornered, they may unite against you. A skilled person leaves others dignity, exits, or a reason to cooperate. This is where the book becomes more than a manual of manipulation. It is also a defense manual. Once you understand these patterns, you can recognize when someone is managing your perception, isolating you, flattering you, rushing you, provoking your ego, or using secrecy to control the frame. There is an important caution here. If you read this book as permission to manipulate everyone, you will probably become less trustworthy, not more powerful. People eventually notice patterns of exploitation. Short-term cleverness can destroy long-term reputation. A stronger reading is to ask, what does this law reveal about human behavior? Why do people envy? Why do they fear being outshined? Why does mystery attract attention? Why does public humiliation create revenge? Why does reputation matter even when it is incomplete? Those questions make the book more useful. They turn the laws into lenses. You can use them to understand offices, negotiations, politics, online status games, family conflicts, and leadership mistakes. For example, if you are building a career, the lesson is not to deceive your boss. It is to make powerful people feel secure while quietly building competence. If you are leading a team, the lesson is not to steal credit. It is to understand how recognition motivates people. If you are dealing with a manipulative person, the lesson is to slow down, watch incentives, and stop giving them emotional control. The book is sharp, but the reader should be sharper. So how should you actually use the 48 laws of power? First, read it descriptively before you read it prescriptively. Greene is showing a world that exists, not necessarily a world you should admire. Second, use the laws as warnings. If someone keeps your attention but hides their motives, notice it. If someone damages your reputation quietly, respond early. If someone makes you react emotionally, ask who benefits from your reaction. Third, use the ethical versions of the lessons. Build reputation through real value. Say less because you are disciplined, not because you are deceptive. Study timing because you respect consequences. Understand power so you do not become its victim. The most practical daily application is to pause before entering any high-stakes conversation and ask for questions. Who has power here, formally and informally? What does each person want to protect? What should I reveal, and what should I hold until the right time? What emotion in me could be used against me? These questions do not make you cynical. They make you observant. And in Greene's universe, observation is the beginning of power. The core takeaway is this: power is rarely just about strength. It is about perception, patience, leverage, emotional control, and the ability to understand what other people want. The danger of the book is that it can make you cynical. The value of the book is that it can make you awake. If you enjoyed this summary, subscribe to One Book in 10 Minutes. We turn the world's most valuable books into clear, practical lessons you can use in real life. One book, 10 minutes. Better you.